Are you wondering if Degiro is safe, trustworthy, or even if it's any good? Well, in this Degiro review, I'll show you how I'm doing after 6 months on the platform, and I'll share what I like about the platform and what I dislike about it. Hello finance people, my name is Robert and I'm here to share my learnings and experience about personal finance as a European. So if we take a look here, so you have the market here, you do your research, you have all kinds of information here, but to be honest, I don't use this part so much. I usually do my research somewhere else, but you have that option if you want to. Then you have the favorites section where you can add things to your favorites, kind of basic I would say. And then obviously the portfolio. And here's my portfolio. You can easily see what's in there and also what's the unrealized profit or loss. In my case, I'm doing quite well this year, so I'm quite happy with the results. And here at the bottom, you can also see the dividends. These are the upcoming ones. So if a stock or ETF pays out the dividend, you also receive that directly in Degiro. You don't need to think about that part. Then you have inboxes where you set certain settings and also have messages from Degiro. And then you have the products. You can search for certain things. So let's say you just come here and then search for them. So for example, if you're looking for Tesla, let's take a look what is there. So shares, you can see there's few options and you might be wondering why. Well, Tesla is traded on many exchanges. So here you can see that you have, I think these two are in Germany and then you have NASDAQ in New York. So you can either buy it in USD or in euros. So you can choose which one you prefer. And just in general, if you're also looking for bonds, that's possible. You could look for example, Volkswagen. I think they have bonds. So you can buy bonds from companies and you can buy from governments as well. Whatever bonds they have on the European exchanges. And then if we go back to Tesla, and let's say I want to just buy it, I'm going to click here on buy. You see here, you can choose how to buy it, set certain rules. You can also, you don't need to buy it immediately. You can also set that when it hits certain price, that's when you buy it. So you just wait for that dip and then it automatically executes that order. You have all the basic features that you would expect. And then once you go to the next step, you would also see how much fees you would pay before you execute that order. So it's quite easy to use. Oh yeah, and obviously you can also short sell if that's something you want. You might need to do a quick quiz and see that you have kind of the necessary skills to do that, but it's possible also on Degiro. Now let's talk about Degiro features. I think it just has all the basic features you would want from a trading platform. The only thing I can think of is that it doesn't have this community feeling in the platform. So you're kind of alone here. Whereas for example in eToro, there's really a community. You can post in eToro, ask questions in eToro and other users will answer. You can also copy other traders, so you don't need to do so much yourself. It's just a nice touch that eToro adds. But if we're talking about a pure place where to trade, Degiro has everything you need, so I wouldn't worry about that. That said, Degiro has active community on Reddit and you can find answers here and they're answered quite quickly. Almost daily somebody posts something here. And by the way, if you decide to sign up with Degiro, I would appreciate if you can use my affiliate link below in the video description. That way you support this channel and there's no extra cost to you. And in terms of usability, it's not the easiest to use, but it's okay. You have also the desktop app that you see here and also on your mobile phone if that's what you prefer, and you can do all the things there. So in terms of fees, I think Degiro is one of the cheapest. Here's in my account statement and I bought an ETF recently and you see that they charged €1 for that. So they just charge fixed fees. They differ depending on what you're buying, but I would say it's very manageable. And in my opinion, it's good that there's some fees because I want the company make some money so that they don't go bankrupt. And this reassures me that there's a little bit money flowing in. And talking about security, Degiro is supervised by the Dutch Financial Authority or something like that. So you have certain protections that comes with a company that is based in Europe. So that's good. If you want to learn more about what's included and what happens if Degiro goes bust, you can check this video. I'll explain what happens to your money and your assets there. So you can check it out there if you're still unsure. So just in general, what I like about Degiro is the fact that you're actually buying the underlying asset. Most other platforms, you're actually buying a CFD, which is a contract for that asset. So you're not really owning the asset itself. So in any case, I like this part. Also, I like that there's so many options in Degiro. You not only have stocks and ETFs, but you have also European stocks. You have all the exchanges in Europe, I think. It just feels like a great tool for European investors. And as I mentioned, low fees, that's always good. So I'm happy about those as well. Now, what I dislike, it's not so easy to get started with. I feel like there's a bit of learning curve, but once you get up and running, I think it's not that hard. Maybe it took me a few times and to understand how it all works, where I can find things. But if you just watch a few tutorials, I actually have one proper tutorial where I go through the whole Degiro platform. After that, you're kind of good to go. Another thing that I dislike is that you can't automatically just deposit money on Degiro. You actually need to do it manually. I would prefer it would take a certain amount from my bank account every month and just send it to Degiro and invest it into an ETF. That's what I do anyway. But right now that's not possible, and I think it would just improve my consistency with investing if that was an option. But other than that, I'm really happy with Degiro. It's my main platform where I trade, and I think in the future I'll be using it unless something drastically changes. Now you know how I feel about Degiro, but to really understand if it's for you, you need to try it yourself. That's why you should watch this video next, where I'll show you how to get started with Degiro and how to buy your first stock.